Hello and welcome to The Review. My name is Tara Newton-Wordsworth and today we are interviewing George Weightman, who has just been touring the whole of the UK and Ireland with Sense and Sensibility and Wuthering Heights. We're going to be talking about what it's like to be an actor on tour. So George, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tis a pleasure. When I say us, I mean the massive crew and myself.
Yeah, it's an amazing operation you're running here. I like it very much.
Thank you very much. So tell us a bit about what it's like to abandon being in the city to go off and tour in open air theatres.
I think one of the strange things is that you think you're taking yourself out of the acting market, as it were, which is absurd because you're leaving to do a job. You're going to do 3 or 4 months of touring and rehearsing, and you think, well, what if something comes up? And it's like, well, something has come up. You're off. And I think you've got to be able to go, this is what's right for me now, and this is what's happening right now, and not think, but what if the thing comes up that I want, which I don't specifically know what it is, but I think that's what this has taught me. Many things is to sort of be present and to sort of embrace the option that you have in front of you rather than second guessing yourself. And that took me a while as I was going through the tour, thinking, oh, I wonder what's going on back in the big city, and then it's like, it'll still be there. So nice to come back though.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I think that's one of the things that a lot of actors think is that, well, if I go off on tour, I'm going to miss out on all these opportunities. But as you're saying, you're leaving to go on a job, so it's not that. Necessarily. However, there are different things like, travelling all over the place constantly is tiring. What did you think of that aspect?
I think it is very tiring. I've always kind of enjoyed the sort of hands-on aspect of acting, that it sort of tests you in a lot of different ways. And this certainly did test in a lot of ways that I didn't necessarily, not necessarily that I didn't expect, but that weren't usual for acting. I wouldn't say acting in the city, but if you're doing a couple of days filming, you're not taking into account the logistics and the fact that every day you'll be putting up and striking a set which takes an hour to put up, and you will be combating the weather or something. I say combating, you know what I mean, like dealing with whatever you get. And I think it's one of those things that you take as part of the course, the fact that you're going to be sharing with a couple of other people for 3 months, which is weird, but then buy earplugs, and it's usually pretty fun. So yeah, does that answer the question?
Yes,
yeah,
it absolutely does. And also, what about with cast members? Because when you're in a show at home, you can go home to your house and you don't have to live with people. Does that get tense at times?
I think it does get tense. I think it's the sense that there is no not escape exactly, because you're not trying to get rid of them, but you are just in each other's pockets the whole time. I've nicknamed it the Battleship Chat House, which is the company Chat House Theatre, because it is like you get in the vans or the car, and you get off, you go off to these places, and you visit one every day, and bring the set out and do that, and it's exhausting. And there's always tensions. I mean, I think I've spent more time over a consecutive period than I've spent with some of my closest friends. So I think it's quite hard to judge the people that you're with by normal standards, because, as you say, you can't get away from them. Having said that, some people are better at dealing with it than others. I mean, some people will, rain or shine, they'll be waist deep in mud and they'll be like, yeah, it's okay. Whereas other people, if they stub their toe in the mornings, you'll know about it all day. And that can be a little grueling sometimes. But I think if you can just focus on the fact that you're a professional doing a paid job, which is just so liberating, and that there are, the key part of it is that there's an audience who are coming to see you, and hopefully if they're still there by the end, and they've enjoyed it, and that's you doing the right thing, I think.
What about also the kind of, because you're not where you're not in London, it's harder for your friends and family to come and watch, and also potentially like your agent or casting directors, does that weigh on you at all?
I think yes and no in a way. I think that you're always hoping that someone will come and see you from the industry and go, I want him to be in the film with Brad Pitt or whatever. But I think at the same time, it goes back to that thing, why are you doing it? And I think if you're doing it because you like the job and you like the fact that you're making audiences happy, giving them a show, literally, then I think that's something to focus on rather than who can or can't see you. I mean, sometimes you do a show in London and you measure it by how many of your friends will come and see it. And I think maybe something this has taught me is that, not that that's wrong necessarily, but that you're working, you're doing a very functional part of the job. You're going out and touring, you're going out and bringing the show to people who you don't know in places that you've never been to before. I mean, I've seen astonishing places that I would never have gone to on my own steam. And I think that sort of is the antidote to worrying if your friends can't come and see you, because they know you're doing what you like doing. I think, yeah, it's hard, but it's different. It's a different breed.
If you could just sum up being on tour for us, for the people listening who want to know whether they should or shouldn't tour, that would be great.
Well, I think that it's not something you should do lightly. Would be the simple solution. But I think it's one of those things when you've done it, it's not only the fact that you've done this many shows or this particular job, it's the fact that you've also got through all the extra stuff, all the sort of that horrible thing we all encounter, the character building stuff. Everyone says, "Oh, it'll be character building." My character's built really high, but it genuinely is. It is an experience unlike any other. You will bond with the other actors. You will want to knock each other's heads together, but it is a really rewarding experience at the end of the day. And I think it's part of your job. Maybe you won't get casting directors come and see you, but you'll be enriched by actually having done this in so many places as well. I mean, it's just been an astonishing experience, and you might tear your hair out as well, but then you can just replace it with other hair. So it should be fine.
It's been fabulous to see you.
It's been fantastic to see you.
Looking forward to you being in London again. Getting to see you in some massive shows here and on our screens. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week with the next episode.